Hello, good to see you again in the year that wisdom built. Today is the fourth day of our 5 day devotional, and I really, really do hope and pray that the first 3 days have been impactful. You've learned something practical that you can use, for your life. We're teaching on how to have a great year. I believe you can have a great year, and I want to partner with you to have a great year. All right, and how that there are laws that govern super achievement. Really, what we're looking at is super achievement and the laws that govern them. How that God doesn't just want you to be an achiever, He wants you to be a super achiever. I believe strongly that your life can be the next story that is to be told. Your exploits, people wondering what wisdom is this, that this is done by these hands. And so we've looked at a couple of laws, two of them already. And between today and the next video, I'm going to give you three more laws to make 5 laws. And I believe that if you give attention to these 5 laws that govern super achievement and align yourself with them, you would have a phenomenal year ahead of you. So I want to share with you on the law of focus. That's the third law that we're looking into, in this 5 day devotional, the law of focus. And as simple as that sounds, I believe it's one of the most powerful laws. It's been proven that the more focused you are on a subject, the more focused you are on a task, the more likely the chances of success are in that thing. I always tell people that you're human. And so the resources, the physical human resources that you have are not infinite. In essence, they are finite. God is infinite, but the resources that you have are not infinite. They are actually finite. They are countable, they're measurable, and they are limited. The earlier you come to the realization of that fact, the better for you. For example, no matter the prayer you pray, you will only have 24 hours in a day. No matter the fastings and all the rest, you're going to only have 12 months in a year. They're finite. Your emotions, your emotional capacity that you have to spend on people, on situations, on things is finite. You are not infinite. You are not El Shaddai. And the earlier you remember that in your life, the better for you. Why am I saying that? The resources you have to channel them in the direction of either of two things or both of these things. Number one, what God has said, and number two, what will produce the greatest result in your life. And so you want to find out, what is God saying exactly, and what will produce the greatest result in your life. Jesus showed us the law of focus in John the 15th chapter, and you can study it when he spoke about, I am the vine, ye are the branches. And then he talked about the branch not bearing fruit, the Father cuts it off. And the branch that beareth fruit, he says he prunes it and stakes it to ensure that it produces more fruit. So why do you think he cuts off the branches that do not bear fruit? Very simple. He doesn't want the resources, the finite resources, to be wasted on branches, to be wasted on things that are non-productive. So one of the first things you need to do in 2024 is to take a review of your life. Not everything you're doing is productive. And the earlier you detach yourself from, you ensure that you have no sentimental attachment to things. Because you can have a sentimental attachment to a thing, to a process, a sentimental attachment to something because this is the way it has always been done. This is what I've grown up with all of my life. You have to come to that place in your life where you prune down on non-productive activities, non-productive relationships, non-productive engagements, non-productive meetings, non-productive processes and all the rest. So you can focus your finite resources on the things that are productive and the things that are commanded of God. Now, if you don't do this, you're going to find out that you get some result in a lot of places, but no major result in any place. And the amazing thing about life is that you're not rewarded for results. You're rewarded for outstanding results. And so if you can get outstanding, and you have to learn this principle, if you can be outstanding in one area, it will naturally pay off for the other areas. But if you are mediocre in every area, it will pay off for no area. And so that's why you find out that the people you celebrate, you don't celebrate them for many things. You usually celebrate them for one thing. You're saying this person is good at this person is good at that, this person is good at this. And so this is the cause of gifted people. You're so gifted, there are many things you can do, and then you get so busy with a lot of things, and you find out that you're non-productive, you're not outstanding in anything particular. In the year 2024, you want to take one area, you want to take one process, you want to take something and become outstanding in that area. Now, that's one aspect of focus. There's another aspect of focus that's critical. And that's in you disciplining yourself to channel all your energies and your emotions on a task. Many times people are easily distracted. Okay, I always will put it this way: water can cut through rocks, not because water is sharp, but because water is focused. As long as it keeps driving, moving smoothly down the rock, all of a sudden you see a gully through the rock. And so I found out that giftedness is not as important as focus. Now, it's important, it's good if you're gifted, if you're very skillful, but I found out that focused people are more outstanding in their results, have more outstanding results than even gifted people. People that have the ability to stay with one thing and not get distracted and focused on it. In 1 Kings chapter 20, verse 39 to verse 40, it shows us the danger of not being focused. The king gave somebody a task. He said, watch over this person. And then the king comes back and he says, where's the person? He says, oh, while I was busy here and there, the person slipped away. And the king says, this is your judgment. Okay. And the judgment was that. In essence, he says, I was busy, but he was not focused on the task. And that's what happens with a lot of people. We're busy with everything, but we are not focused. You see, God does not want you busy. He wants you focused. And so many times we're excited to tell people, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. No, God wants you focused. One of the things that you have to develop in 2024 is what I call insane focus. You're laser focused on one thing. This is the one thing Paul spoke about. He said, one thing I do, not two things, not three things, not four things, one thing I do. So you find out what that one thing is and ensure that everything else you do in your life channels into that one thing. So you're not dividing yourself across several things at the same time. The truth of the matter is the time will come where you've built systems enough where you're able to do several things at once. But then it's the systems that are doing it, not you. You have to ensure that part-time you are doing just one thing. Jesus said in Matthew the 6th chapter, the 22nd verse, he said, if your eye be single, then your body will be full of light. So my question to you today is your eye single, or are you scattered everywhere else? You see, focus is one of the most important laws for super achievement. Let me read you something here that I wrote. You have to, in being focused, I wrote down here, you have to define your goals. And thank God we spoke about planning yesterday. You have to define your goals. You have to focus on your goals. You have to eliminate distractions and don't be lured by another man's race. Number one, define your goal. Number two, focus on them. Number three, eliminate distractions and don't be lured by another man's race. Somebody says, Pastor, how do I remain focused? Hebrews chapter 12 verse 2, who for the joy set before him always visualize the end. If this thing turns out successful, what would my life look like? What will the ministry look like? What will the business look like? What will my job look like? What will my marriage look like? If you always visualize the end, then you will maintain the momentum and the inspiration, all right, for that task. I wrote down here that if you can maintain your inner excitement and inner motivation about a goal for more than 3 months, your chances of succeeding at it are higher. Here's what happens with a lot of people. They're not able to maintain their momentum. They're not able to maintain the motivation. They start out something, the motivation drops, and because they are motivational people, not disciplined people. So the moment the motivation drops, then they don't do anything about it again. You see, the way to maintain your momentum and the inspiration that you had at the beginning is to visualize the end, number one. And then number two, do things by discipline, not just by emotions. Now, I am trusting God that in the year 2024, you will find that one thing that you need to do, that one thing that once you do it, every other thing else feeds from it. Everything else comes alive. Everything else becomes beautiful because you've succeeded at that one thing. And that once you find that one thing, God is going to grant you the grace to set yourself, your face as a flint. Like Isaiah said in Isaiah 50 verse 7. And as Jesus said, he said, I've set my face as a flint towards Jerusalem. I'm praying for you. You will set your face as a flint. You will not be distracted. You remain focused. And in this year, you will be a super achiever. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video, share the video, comment under the video, hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is released. I'll see you again this time tomorrow, and cheers to a great year.